Hello YouTube. Do you want to retire early? I don't know many working class people that haven't at least thought about retiring early. The problem is wanting it or thinking about it is not going to make it happen. There's a lot more involved in actually being able to retire early than merely having a desire to do so. So today I'm going to give you 10 reasons why you won't be able to retire early unless you change your financial behaviors. So stay right where you are. I'll be right back. Reason number one why you won't retire early is that you haven't defined what retire early really means to you. Have you determined an age at which you want to retire? I can't tell you how many times I've asked clients and potential clients the question, when do you want to retire? And surprisingly to me, the most common response I get initially anyway is 65. Usually after further conversation I learn that they would like to retire sooner, but they're reluctant to set a date or rather an age because they don't feel confident that what they're doing now will allow them to retire comfortably at age 65, let alone some age sooner than that. You have to define what retirement will look like for you before you can determine when and if you can afford it. What do you plan to do in retirement? Of course, everyone always says travel, but you have to be more specific than that. Where do you want to travel and how often? What's the average cost of each of your trips? What will you be doing when you're not traveling? Do you have hobbies that you plan to enjoy? What is the average monthly cost of these hobbies? Of course, there's other expenses to consider as well, but the point is, if you don't know how much retirement is going to cost you, how can you tell when and if you will be able to afford it? So you have to spend some time defining your retirement. What you're really doing is drawing a picture of your target so that now you have something to shoot at. The second reason you won't retire early is because you don't have the financial knowledge to put together and be able to execute a financial plan that will allow you to retire at your desired age. Now, please don't take that as an insult. That's certainly not how I intended it. But the fact is that most people don't gain enough financial knowledge through life experiences alone to manage their finances efficiently until they're in their mid to late 40s. That's mainly due to the fact that the knowledge that you need is not taught in school or on the job. So what most people are left with is either learning from their parents, who also didn't learn it in school, and who chances are didn't retire early, or they learn little by little, if they're lucky, from life experiences and more knowledgeable people they meet along the way. Think about the effect that has on your ability to retire early. If you started your first real job at age 20, but you don't learn what you need to know about managing your money efficiently until age 45, that's 25 years that you could have been working on your early retirement plan. If you wanted to retire at age 55, but didn't become knowledgeable until 45, that only gives you 10 years to execute an early retirement plan. That doesn't mean it would be impossible, but you would have been able to plan a better retirement, perhaps even at a younger age, if you had gained the knowledge to manage your money better at an earlier age. You need to understand budgeting, debt management, credit score management, investing, and many other aspects of money management. So start educating yourself if you want to retire early. Reason number 3 why you won't retire early is because you don't have a real plan. I'm talking about a comprehensive, detailed plan designed specifically for you that takes into account all money matters that relate to you. I'm talking about a plan that considers the age that you want to retire, the lifestyle you want to live in retirement, the cost of that lifestyle, your resources now and in the future that will be needed to cover that cost, how to go about reducing that cost before you get there so you need fewer resources, how much money you need prior to retirement to ensure you don't run out of money, what kind of return you need to be earning on your money both pre-retirement and post-retirement, and you need to account for inflation and your risk tolerance. If you don't have a plan that does all of these things, then you don't have a real retirement plan, and you probably won't have the flexibility to retire early. You need a financial advisor who will take the time to get to know you and your financial goals. Someone who has the knowledge and expertise to craft a plan that fits your needs. I don't do cookie cutter financial plans. So if you need someone who will give you the personal attention that you need to succeed, then reach out to me and let's start a conversation. Your initial consultation is always free, and you don't pay for a plan unless you agree that it is something that you can commit to. So what are you waiting for? Let me help you plan for your financial independence and an enjoyable retirement. Number 4 on the list of reasons why you won't retire early is you don't set goals. If you have a comprehensive plan like the one I just mentioned, it should also include goals that support your early retirement plans. Goals such as paying off your mortgage so you don't have that expense in retirement. If you want to retire early, that means you probably need to have a plan for paying off your mortgage early as well. You should also have goals for paying off other debt so that you can use that money to boost your retirement savings. If you have $6,000 in credit card debt, and by the way, the national average is higher than that, but let's just use $6,000 for this example. And let's also say that you're paying $100 per month on that debt at 16% interest. At that rate and payment schedule, it would take you 10 years to pay off that debt, and you would also be out $12,000 over that time period. If you were investing that same $100 a month and earning 8% return, which is only half the rate of interest you were paying, in 10 years you would have over $18,000. This goal alone could mean retiring 1 or 2 years sooner. You need to set short-term goals that support your long-term goals. Reason number 5 why you won't retire early is you don't start planning early enough. Time is critical when it comes to retirement planning. The longer your money can work for you, the more money you will have. In fact, by starting early, you can contribute less and have more money than someone who started later and contributed more. Let me give you an example of what I mean. Let's say individual A and individual B are both of the same age, let's say 20 years old, and both work for the same company. They also both earn the same amount of money and both have access to a 401k plan with dollar-for-dollar matching up to 6% of salary. They have both also said that they want to retire at age 60. Now, individual A decides that she's going to contribute $100 a month starting immediately. Individual B is busy enjoying his youth but plans to start saving at some point. Individual A contributes the same amount for 10 years and then stops making contributions. At age 30, individual B decides he's going to contribute $100 a month, and he does so until they are both age 60. Both accounts have been earning an average return of 7% annually, and when they both reach age 60, individual B will have contributed $36,000 of his money and receive matching contributions of the same amount for a total of $72,000 in contributions. With his 7% annual return, at age 60, individual B will have a total of $243,994. Not bad for only contributing $36,000 of his own money, right? So let's take a look at individual A. She contributed only $12,000 of her own money and received another $12,000 in matching contributions for a total of $24,000. She also earned the same 7% annually on her investments, and at age 60, individual A will have $280,968. That's almost $37,000 more than individual B, and it only cost her a third of what individual B spent. That's the value of starting early and giving your money more time to grow. By starting early, individual A could have decided to contribute more and retire even sooner. Reason 6 why you won't retire early is also related to reason 5. Reason 6 is you don't maximize free money. In the previous example, I told you that both employees were offered a 401k with dollar-for-dollar matching up to 6% of salary. If we assume that that $100 a month was only 3% of the salary and then increased individual A's contribution to 6% to take full advantage of all free money, following the same timeline as before, at age 60, she would have roughly $562,000 and still would have only invested $24,000 of her own money. If you have access to any plan that offers matching contribution, you always want to make sure you get all of the free money you can. Reason number 7 you won't retire early is that you don't challenge yourself. If you don't challenge yourself with your finances, you won't reach your goals, or you will set goals that are too low or easy to achieve. You have to get out of your comfort zone just a bit if you want to retire early. Some people are afraid to challenge themselves by bumping up their contributions in order to get the maximum free dollars. Sometimes they think if they're at 3% and that equals $100 a month in contributions, they think that if they bump their contributions to 6%, they think it would mean $100 less in take-home pay. But actually, if you're doing pre-tax contributions, the amount of the reduction in your take-home pay is less than the amount of your contribution increase. This is because your contributions are taken out before your taxes are. You should also keep this in mind if you're trying to increase your pre-tax contributions to any level. Challenge yourself to do more to aid your early retirement strategy. You might find out it's not as painful as you thought. Reason number 8 why you won't retire early is that you don't hold yourself accountable. Now, we're all guilty of a little procrastination from time to time, but if you don't hold yourself accountable to the goals which you have set for yourself, then you will have no one to blame but you. Resist the urge to spend on luxuries or other unnecessary items if you're supposed to be focused on paying off debt. It doesn't do much good to get that credit card balance to zero if you're going to turn right around and max it out again. Stay disciplined, stay focused, and be hard on yourself when necessary. Reason number 9, you don't know what your post-retirement expenses are going to be. Now, I don't mean to imply that you should know what all of your expenses are going to be in retirement. Nobody has that kind of crystal ball. But there are some things that you need to give some careful thought to, and there is a methodology for estimating future cost of some things. For instance, you need to give some thought to your family medical history. If your family has a history of longevity, then you will need to plan for a longer retirement. You don't want to outlive your money. On the other hand, if there's a history of certain costly medical conditions in your family, then you need to plan for the potential that similar medical costs may eat into your retirement funds. You may need to plan for long-term care or assisted living. You should also think about which expenses will decrease in retirement as well. If you're not driving to work every day, you should be spending less on fuel and auto maintenance. You should also be spending less on laundry and dry cleaning, perhaps. You need to be able to look at your expenses now and decide which ones will go up in retirement and which ones will go down, and where you need to account for inflation as well. This is why you need a financial advisor that will take the time to get to know you and all of the details relevant to your retirement plans. You need someone who can do all of these calculations for you and help you develop a plan tailored specifically to you. Reason 10 why you won't retire early is you don't have enough income streams. Obviously, if you don't have enough income streams, you will eat through your retirement savings pretty quickly. If you have saved enough, though, and your withdrawal rate is less than the return on your money, then you'll probably be okay. But just remember, the stock market is unpredictable, and you need to have the flexibility to withdraw less when the market is down. During retirement, you also have a less risky portfolio mix, so you probably won't be earning as much as you were during your working years. If you want to retire early, you really need to have multiple income streams in order to have more flexibility and ensure a longer, more secure retirement. Real estate investing can be a great passive income stream in retirement, but you need to plan for that in advance in order to be in a position to enjoy it in retirement. You may also have a business idea that could generate additional income. I absolutely love the spirit of entrepreneurship. If you're thinking of starting a business, check out my video on why you should be an entrepreneur. Being a business owner can not only generate income, but it can also present you with some very lucrative tax advantages. The bottom line is that if you want to retire early, you can't just work hard and hope it happens. You must have a plan, and you must be willing to change your financial behaviors. And you know what I always say, change your behaviors and you can change your life. So until next time, behave well.